My man, Tony G. Tony Gilchrist becomes one of the world's very first AI certified agents. Just a little bit about Tony here. He served as a professional realtor and broker 48 years in the industry. And his top brands like Royal Lepage, Engel and Voelkers. Man, and now you're with EXP Realty, though. That's what I know that name. Now you're with EXP Realty. And I'll tell you what, you're with a lot of different experts in the industry. What's going on, Tony?
Not much. I was retired, and lucky enough to be called back a few times.
Yeah.
To help out.
Yeah.
So I did join EXP because I really enjoyed the model, and I had a meeting with Jason Gessing. I said I'm not sure what I can contribute.
Yeah.
So I just kept learning because I do have a team, and how can I best help them out?
Yeah.
I knew AI was coming. Listen, I can hardly turn my computer on. Luckily, tripped over you guys.
Well, thank you, Tony. And I think something else, before we get into what we've done with you, I want to ask you a couple questions too. So you've seen a lot of transitions in the real estate industry and how it's really evolved until now. Can you talk to us about some of those transitions that you've seen through your 48 years in the industry?
Oh, goodness. Incredible. In fact, most of it's happened in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
I started in real estate. We would handwrite our offers on the hood of a car, work with your shift work all over the place. And that was the norm. Then there was a thing called the typewriter.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm serious about that.
Yeah.
Where we take it in and the girls would type it. The girls, because normally the girls.
Right.
Front desk. Watch computers come in, fax machines. In fact, it was funny. Fax machines, they weren't accepted readily, and I had to put in an office that I was working at. I had to put in for a chair because they wouldn't buy a fax machine for our office.
Yeah.
So, but what I found was that all of these changes were reasonably slow. Even the internet, the computers, I think that was 95, something like that.
Yeah.
They took the time. But AI, even though it's been around for a long time, as far as hitting the real estate industry, it just feels like a fire hose and it's just like there.
It is. And I feel like there's so many different tools and things are just coming out, especially because I feel like people know real estate agents, they make money. So it's like, buy this, here's a tool. And there's so many puzzle pieces out there, right? Like, so when you first saw AI, how did you first start thinking about it as far as the real estate industry goes?
Well, in truth, I didn't start thinking about it other than when we would type and I had read something and about it would correct itself, right?
Yeah.
And then you started figuring out that when you call your banks or any government agency, somebody's talking to you, telling you what great service they're going to give you, and you can't get in for 45 minutes or an hour. And I know that it's AI, that it's not an automatic voice. But I never really gave it much thought for the real estate industry for what it has done now, in truth.
Yeah. And so in order to become one of the world's first AI certified agents, Tony had to spend an entire week with myself and my team. And we put thousands of hours into this. So that way Tony can become the expert AI certified agent in his area. So Tony, why don't you give me just a little overview? What are some of the things that you learned throughout that week of spending it with us?
Well, and I'm going to tell you a story, if I may, just segue in on this. I kind of like beer and fish and chips, and I love my son. And we were sitting around with my wife Linda one time in Ottawa at a pub. We got talking about music.
Okay.
And he's an accomplished musician, and he said something, and I said, "What is pentatonic scale? What are you talking about?" And he said, "A blues scale, you know." No, I don't know. He said, true story. He says, "Dad, you played in some of the best venues. You played the CNE. You had a recording contract, and you don't know what a pentatonic scale is?" I said, "No." He took a napkin and a piano, and in 45 seconds told me what it was.
Wow.
And I sat back, and I've been sick to my stomach. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I said, if I knew that, my career would have been different in music, would have been more fun, it would have been easier. And that's what I saw when I see this, is that I didn't know what I didn't know. So I learned that lesson to, if I'm going to stick around and see what's going on and how I can help other people, I better learn as much as I can.
Yeah. And you know, go ahead.
And I think that's what, and then when I saw when I finished the course with you, I saw the napkin presentation. It was simple, not easy. But it was simple. It was well described. And I just feel now I've got something that I can offer.
You know, and I think that's a great way to put it. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple enough where if you do it enough, it becomes just a little bit easier each time. But I think that's one thing about AI is you don't have to be great at technology to be able to use it. Does it help? Absolutely. But it takes away some of that learning curve of all that back end work of being able to say, hey, let's set it up right and be able to use it. So what are some of the ways that you see being able to help other agents learn their business? Because there's agents, I'm sure, in your marketplace right now, Tony, that are trying to learn AI. And as an AI certified agent, what are some of those ways that you see being able to help other agents trying to learn it as well?
First of all, expose that they should be. I don't care whether you're playing golf, playing hockey, or anything. Take lessons, and that's and be aware. You know, first of all, and I don't think a lot of, I mean, they know a little bit, but that can really be dangerous. I mean, we've all played golf with lessons, right? And then, so the way I had a conversation with a great agent the other day. He said, "I'm so busy. I can't get back to people." He said, "I've got this going on, family and everything." I'm sitting back looking at AI and the system, if done properly, is going to reduce their workload by what is 80%? I think the ratio of 1 in 5, 5 times more productive. And then they can spend more time with their clients, more time with their family, and just do a better job. Simple as that.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, one of our core beliefs as AI certified agents is we believe people should spend less time behind a computer and more time communicating with their clients. And, you know, as agents, you've been in the business for a couple years, 48 years. And I mean, how, especially in the social media era and the internet, how hard is it for agents to spend all day talking to people and at the end of the day, flip their brains to then go into creative and marketing mode?
It's very hard. And I've worked with all kinds of agents, those who have teams, they have administrators, and they have, you know, and that's not all rosy either, because sometimes, excuse me. Sometimes the, where was I going with this? Depending on the agent. The team takes up more of their time than their clients do, right? And then if they're a single agent, there's so much paperwork today, especially up here in the Ontario market, and I imagine even down where you are. And I've talked to lots of brokers that just packed it in. This is just too much paperwork, too much to do. And yet our job is really to be talking to people. So.
And I think that's where it'll be able to help, when used properly, increase the amount of communication. So Tony, let me wrap it up by asking you this, my man. What does it mean to you to be one of the world's first AI certified agents?
I'm proud of that. I'm 76 years old and I'm still giving her. You know, I don't know how else to put that, other than I'm proud of the fact I really get excited about being able to help somebody else. I like seeing whatever I do make a difference. And this is a way that I can make a difference.
You know, and I think that's what we were talking about in one of our calls before, you know, significance over success, being the most significant person in other people's lives, being significant in other agents' lives. So guys, if you're a real estate agent out there right now that are looking to feel like, how do I implement AI in my business? What do I need to do? Reach out to Tony, man. I'll tell you what, Tony will be able to help you with this. Tony just spent an entire week with myself and my staff to learn how to use AI in the real estate business. And he has some great tips, great tricks that he'll be able to share with you. Tony, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, we'll see you on the next one.